Hi, I'm Cheryl Brass. Welcome to Flavors of East Brunswick, showcasing our diversity through cuisine. This program is co-sponsored by the East Brunswick Human Relations Council and EBTV. I'm here at my friend and neighbor Holly's house where I'm preparing a summer orzo salad. And these are very simple ingredients that deliver a flavorful and fresh approach to farm to table, and it makes for a wonderful side dish for all of your potlucks and barbecues through the summer with July 4th and heading into Labor Day activities. I'm so busy with bringing the kids to camp and doing the work as the creator and program coordinator of the East Brunswick Symphony Orchestra. It's a quick and easy recipe that's very versatile, and I really enjoy the freshness and the ability to add or delete ingredients as needed when I'm in a hurry, and it's rich with the nutrients and just feels very summery. With every summer, I enjoy the change of season. I love living in New Jersey and in East Brunswick, where it provides a wonderful opportunity for us to experience all of the seasons. And as we know in New Jersey, a season can last one day or it can last 3 months. So when the summer comes, it's a nice opportunity to get those fresh picked vegetables, start the garden again. And what we have here are some garden vegetables and that we're going to be using for our summer orzo salad. I'm excited to show you this recipe. Let me show you how it's done. The base of this recipe is really in the orzo, and I use store-bought orzo and follow the cooking instructions. I do salt the water, and then as soon as the orzo is cooking, I make sure I mix it so it doesn't clump. When I pour it into the colander, I let it sit for a few minutes just so that it's not too hot to incorporate the olive oil. So I've done that here, and I have this orzo at room temperature, which is how this dish should be served. And I'm going to just add a little bit more olive oil. And you can be as liberal with the olive oil as you need. If you want to keep reheating it, I would add olive oil a little bit as you go, and just keep this incorporated. And then you can add a generous amount of pepper and salt. And my kids would stop right here and eat it, but they do love their vegetables, especially when they're from their backyard. So we make sure that we always add the good stuff. What I really like about this salad is just so pretty. That's why I have a clear bowl that it's going to go into. It's very nice on any table, and it really does speak of summer. So we'll just start with adding the base. And this is probably one package. I made sure at home that there were leftovers. So there's more than one package probably in our whole recipe, but you can make this small batch or large. Okay. And okay. You can use any size cucumber you like. These looked fresh, and I just quarter them so to make it easy and safe to cut. This is also one of the activities that my 12-year-old feels comfortable doing, so it's nice to have sous chefs at home, and I welcome them to join me and my husband in the kitchen. My husband really does like to cook, and he's also the gardener, so I'm very lucky because I like to eat. So while we incorporate the cucumber into the salad, and you can see the proportions as you go, because this recipe is room temperature and you won't be reheating it, the cucumbers can be in there. But if you were going to reheat the orzo, I would leave the ingredients separate and incorporate them right before you eat them, so that way you're not cooking your cucumbers. I think that looks very pretty. I like to add a little bit of lemon juice with this just to brighten it up, and I've cut the lemon in half and juiced it. And this is about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice for the package of orzo, but again, it's to taste. So you can decide how you'd like that amount to be. The key ingredient in this salad that makes it very special is arugula. And during the year, I have to purchase it at the store, but in the summertime and through the fall, I'm very lucky that my husband's able to grow arugula in our garden. So this was picked yesterday, and you can see the roots are very healthy. The arugula, once it starts to flower, it's a little too late. You really want to pick it before. And arugula, for those of you who haven't tried it, it's such a refreshing and flavorful vegetable. It tastes a little peppery, but it shouldn't be bitter. And because this is so fresh, it's more than just a plain lettuce. The pepper really opens it up. So I use a generous amount of arugula where I just break the leaves. I use the whole thing and the stem. And with clean hands, you're able to just rip and go. So I use as much as I can in the salad. If I'm feeling more that I want the arugula and cucumber to shine, then I'll use less orzo. But I think an equal amount, as in the clear bowl, if you can see that it looks pretty as it gets incorporated. You start to smell the fresh ingredients, and you can play around with different, I haven't tried it with lettuce because it doesn't have the same flavor as arugula, but you could. You could also use kale. Kale, lemon juice, sometimes I add Parmesan to that. This recipe really is very versatile. You can change the ingredients. This arugula was picked last night, and we washed it, and it's just incredibly flavorful. In East Brunswick, we're very lucky that not only are there home gardens, but we have a seed exchange at the East Brunswick Public Library. There's a community garden. We live all around farm country. My husband and I belong to a CSA, and we really appreciate getting those fresh ingredients throughout the summer and beautiful flowers. And it's a really nice way to not only support your local economy and local farming, but you're eating the freshest of ingredients, and it really does taste very different than if it was sitting in a supermarket. So I enjoy eating these foods that highlight the local ingredients because I think it just tastes better, and it's very special. I like that gardening for my husband is a relaxing activity. For me, eating it is a relaxing activity, and I like that it brings people joy, that food brings us together. A lot of great conversations happen while you're eating food, learning about other cultures, learning about how recipes get passed down from generation to generation or through friends like this one did. So I would say this is pretty incorporated for now, but you can keep going with the arugula for as much as you like, and that's the nice thing about this recipe, is that it allows for you to do that. One of the special things that my husband grows in our garden, this is mint. He also grows spearmint, and everybody remembers mint from chewing gum. I've seen people take a piece of mint and chew that without the gum. This mint is extremely fresh and flavorful. If you plant mint at home, please plant it in a planter and not wild. Mint will take over like a vine. You will never be able to get rid of it. It will take over everything. So mint with caution. However, it is really nice. My husband likes tea. I'm a coffee drinker. He likes tea, and he takes each leaf and he'll line it out on a plate and let it dry. And after a day or two, he'll be able to crumble it and have tea, loose leaf tea, that he makes his mint tea in the morning. So whenever I use mint or a vegetable, a leafy green like this to cut it, I roll it so that way it's one chop. And this is just a small amount. This flavor goes far. I could probably add more for the amount of pasta that I'm doing. But it just gives that fine chop. And then that way each bite, I think it needs a little bit more. So I just pick the leaves. These are washed. And I tried for this to not do too much stem, although it's all freshly homegrown, so it's all good ingredients. And I just kind of roll it and chop. Oh, it smells so good. It's just a refreshing recipe. A lot of foods make us feel a little heavy after we eat it, and this is just light and fresh, and it makes it really fun. That looks really nice. All right, so we have the orzo, we have the cucumber, we have the arugula, and we have the mint. And now I use feta. This right here is a vegan recipe, so for those observing the diet, it's a great recipe to bring. I also leave it separate. My son has a dietary restriction and can't have dairy, so he's able to eat it like this. I leave the feta separate. When I'm choosing feta, I really enjoy the fresh sheep's milk feta, and for those who haven't seen feta in this style before, it's in a brine. Brine is a salt water, and I love how this has a little basket there. So I've taken this big, it was a big block, and I cut it into cubes, and that's what you see here in these cubes. Now that all of our ingredients are incorporated, we are ready to serve. So we have a delicious spread here, and we're ready to taste our summer orzo salad. I added the feta for this, and I can smell the mint and the peppery arugula. If you want to add a little bit more olive oil before you serve, you can. It really is so refreshing. The saltiness of the brine from the feta and the smoothness of the cheese, and then the crunchy cucumber. Arugula has that crunch and bite to it, and the mint just really elevates it, as well as the lemon juice. So this is a great recipe for really any time of the year, but I do switch it for the winter time. And then lastly, if I wanted to make this vegetarian, I would add in the feta, and that really seals the deal. It's a beautiful and hearty recipe. It looks inviting, and you're eating those homegrown vegetables and leafy greens, and really trying to savor all of the flavors through this wonderful salad. I'm looking forward to enjoying this summer orzo salad all season long, especially with the cucumbers that are just about, the flowers are coming in the garden, so those will also be a homegrown ingredient to add to this wonderful recipe. I'm looking forward to celebrating July 4th with our friends, family, and the entire community. We really enjoy the East Brunswick Symphony Orchestra's performance with the concert before and during the spectacular fireworks show that our East Brunswick Recreation and Parks Department puts on. And this is just a really fun way to bring everybody together and celebrate the summertime, the community, and enjoying each other's company. Thank you so much for watching Flavors of East Brunswick. I want to thank Holly for this beautiful table and atmosphere. It's a beautiful day. Thank you to EBTV, and thank you to the East Brunswick Human Relations Council for doing the important work of bringing our community together. It's my honor and pleasure always to participate in our community, and I thank you and wish you a wonderful meal. you.